All right. Tana is writing something. Okay. Many businesses that are large outsource their labor in other countries. Okay. All right. So, yes. So some businesses, actually most businesses, yeah, they find some, resources outside of USA. So a small business actually help the inside of the US business. It makes sense. It makes sense. Okay. Any other point? Why small business? Why not big corporations? Why small business that create majority of new jobs? So think about that. Think about that. Big corporations, they already have their own markets, right? They already have their own markets, market share. Right? Then, do they need to be innovative? They need to be innovative? Probably not. Why? Because if the market is changing, okay, their profit is changing too. Think about that. Okay, they already have enough market share. Okay? They don't want to change anything because they already have cash cow. Okay? So they don't want any, innovation in the market because they just want to keep, the same. But think about that small business. Small business. Okay? They don't have existing market share. They need to develop it. Then what they want to do? They should be innovative. They need to find each market. They need to develop a new product. They need to develop a technology. Then they become big corporations. These circulations. Okay. So small business is very desperate to have better innovations. Okay. That's why small business create the majority of new jobs. Yeah. This is the perspective of many people. All right. Okay. Great. Okay. All right. Let's move to number 2. Opportunity recognition is a process of identifying and selecting entrepreneurial opportunities. It does not involve the development of those ideas. It's false, right? Okay. It's false. It is involved with the development of these ideas. Okay. All right. Number 3. The majority of entrepreneurial startups are financed with angel financing. True or false? False. Right. Okay. What is the angel financing, Brandon? What is the angel financing?
It's more private investors who put like seed money in a corporation who's already kind of upgoing and successful, but it's still in its early stages.
All right. So angel financing is a private investor. All right. So individual investor, you can think of just individual investors. You can be an angel financing too if you invest in small startups. Okay. So these days, angel financing, it was originally individual, financing individual investors. Okay, like a venture capitalist. Venture capital financing is a group of a corporation that focus on this type of investment. But angel financing was individual. But these days, these individual investors actually they make their own group, so angel group. Okay. So it is a trend. So you can see many angels, many angel groups. The majority of entrepreneur startups actually they are financed by themselves, internal founders. Yeah. They start with their own money. Okay. Also, they start with some debt. Okay. So lending the money. Okay. All right. Great. Thank you, Brandon. Number 4, venture capital funding for entrepreneurial ventures is usually available only after the startup has become a going concern and established a track record. True or false? Yes, it's generally true. Not always, but it's generally true. Okay? Venture capitalists invest a lot of money, right? So they cannot afford. They usually, in general, they cannot afford really small companies which don't have the records. Okay? So it's true. Okay. Number 5, Small Business Administration (SBA) and government regulations project small business from bidding on government contracts. It doesn't make sense at all. False. Okay. False. Okay. SBA, government regulations. Actually, they try to help small business. SBA, Small Business Administration. They have SBA loan programs. Many types of SBA loan programs. That means, small business owners can lend some money, from the bank, with the guarantee of Small Business Administration. Okay? It helps to have the lower interest rate. Okay? So SBA loan, if you want to become your own boss, then you need to know SBA loan. It's a big help. Okay? It's big help. So SBA loan is government-sponsored loan programs. Okay? So usually it provides a low interest rate, very stable, conditions to have a loan. So you need to use it. Okay? You need to use it. There are many brokers in the market, but if you need anyone, I know some brokers. So just let me know. Okay, just send me an email. I need to have SBA loan officers. And I can help you. Actually, when I was teaching in New York, my MBA students were all the doctors, medical doctors. They had their own practice. They had their own clinics. Okay? So I talked about SBA loan. Okay, and then I just informed that I had some loan officers who are focused on the Small Business Administration loans, and then almost everyone actually wanted to have the contact with the SBA loan officer, okay? Because small business, usually small business do not have the enough resources. Okay? So their financial issues are always problematic. Okay? So they even in the healthcare industry, actually they wanted the medical doctors. Okay? They wanted to have these loans because they already have their own loans and probably they need new loans, but I don't know. But low interest rate is very important. They already have the existing loan, but if they have a chance to have a low interest rate loan, they want to have this loan and repay it. Okay, so just trade off. That's why all the they were so interested in this opportunity. So I just connected. Connected them to the SBA loan officers. Okay? Some people actually realized actually had some loans. So SBA loan, you should know that if you are interested in becoming your own boss. Number 6, because new ventures typically are small, yes. They usually do not have a high economies of scale, yes, relative to competitors. Yes, that's true. That's why they should be innovative. So that's why small business usually focus on product differentiation strategy. All right. Okay. So big corporations, high economies of scale, they already have it. So they focus on cost leadership strategy. Okay. All right. Number 7, a focused strategy must not include element of differentiation. It doesn't make sense at all. A focused strategy must include elements of differentiations. Okay? And overall cost leadership strategy. Focused strategy is just, it's about niche market, finding a niche market. All right? It should be, focused on at the same time, simultaneously, product differentiation or cost leadership. Okay. Number 8, entrepreneurial new entry is often perceived as a competitive threat because most market needs are being met either directly or indirectly by an existing firm. Yes, it's true. Yeah. Competitive threat, yes, of course, because entrepreneurial new entry kicked off existing companies, because if these existing companies are not efficient, not effective, okay, existing companies doesn't have competitive advantage, is kicked by entrepreneurial firms in the market. Okay? Thus, the entrepreneurial new entry is often perceived as a competitive threat. Okay? Right, great. Any question? Any question, comment? See, it's an easy topic, right? So we already talked about 2 generic strategies. Reduce cost, increase product differentiation, create competitive advantage. And globalization, technology. Okay, so it's very easy. Okay. All right, let's move. So I understand that. I understand this is Friday, so you are pretty tired this season. So my lecture will be not so long. So let's take efficient time. Okay. All right. So learning objectives. We already talked about new ventures. Why new ventures are desperate to have innovation? Because they have to. They have to, right? Big corporations, they already have their own market share, all right? They already have the economies of scale, right? So they don't want any change, actually. But new ventures, they make changes. 3 types of entry strategy: pioneering, imitative, adaptive. We'll talk about that. And we're going to talk about this briefly, but we already talked about this one a lot. Okay, generic strategies. Okay? And the competitive dynamic analysis, very simple concept. So we don't have many things to talk about. Okay? We are talking about entrepreneurial strategy. All right. So there's no class activity today. All right. Then I just move directly to my lecture. Okay? So we are talking about entrepreneurship. Okay? Small business. Big corporations and small businesses are different. Okay? Big corporations, they have enough resources. They have great resources. A lot of money, people, facilities, networks. A small business, they don't. Okay? All right. These differences make us to talk about this topic, entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship involves the value creation and assumption and the assumption of risk. Okay. All right, startup ventures ideas can come from experience or some other people. Okay, so how startup ventures are different from the established corporations? Talk about that. Research. Okay, research. Okay. Do you have any other idea how they different? Big corporations and small companies, new startups. We talked about that. Okay, I already talked about that. What else? Do you have any idea? Their resources are different. Then if their resources are different, their strategy will be different too. Yeah, the strategy will be different too. Okay, so we talked about that. The differentiation strategy they focus on. Okay, let's move. So entrepreneur strategy has 3 components: opportunity, entrepreneur, and resource. So entrepreneur, resource, opportunity. Okay, so opportunity first. Opportunity recognition. Opportunity recognition. Okay. Entrepreneurial opportunities require opportunity recognition. Okay. This is the first step. First step. Okay. First step to have a new business. Oh, there is some business opportunities. Okay. This is an opportunity recognition. And discovery and evaluations. Okay. Becoming aware of a new business concept, evaluations, analyzing the opportunity to determine whether it is viable or feasible to develop further. Okay. Then you can ask this. They are attractive, achievable, and durable, and value creating. Yes, 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 yes. And then, wow, this is a good opportunity. All right. So you need to recognize any opportunity first. Okay. Then you can evaluate it. Okay. You can make a concept of the business. Then you can evaluate it. Okay. Then how to evaluate it? You need to ask these questions. This opportunity is attractive, achievable, durable, value creating. Okay. If your answers are all the answers yes, 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 then it's a good opportunity. Got it? Okay. Research. Research is a big, big problem. Okay. So you recognize a business opportunity. Then you want to have your own business, right? Yeah. Let's go back to this one. Opportunity. You recognize opportunity. Okay. You recognize opportunity. Then you need to have what? Resource to start your own business. Okay. So this is a big, big problem because small startups they always have they are suffering from the lack of some types of resources. What types? Financial resource, human capital, social capital, government resources, something like that. Okay. So based on my observations and my experiences, okay, the very early stage of the small startups, financial resource is critical. They need money, the very early stage. Okay. So they usually have the shortage of the financial capital. Okay. So they experience a kind of the belly of death. Okay. Which means that their business are very promising, but they don't have enough money to continue their business. Okay? Between their own money and some outside funding, all right, there's a gap. Okay? So in this gap, many small startups are just died. Okay? So in the very early stage, financial resources are problematic, but when a little bit overcome this stage, okay, small startups also experience a lack of human capital, people, right? Good people. So it is not easy to have enough people, okay, to hire people. okay, for small startups. So in the early stage, financial resources are really problematic, and the next stage, human capital is a really problematic. Okay? I experienced this, these problems, okay, actually many times in my own experience too. That's why I emphasize this. Your textbook doesn't, talk about this, but I just want to let you know this. Okay? So you can expect when you have your own business, probably I will have the financial resource problem, okay, in the early stage. So I need to proactively, okay, prepare for it. Okay? And the next stage, I will have a human capital problem. So I need to, proactively prepare to the lack of the human capital, or something like that. You can use my lecture, okay, in this way. And financial resource, we already talked about that. Angel investors, venture capitalists, crowdfunding. Okay, these days some people use crowdfunding. Okay, so crowdfunding is something that you can find in the internet site. Okay, so very many internet users. Okay, they just invest very small amount of money in the crowdfunding if the small startups, register their company in the crowdfunding website. Okay. All right, human capital and social capital, something like that. Okay, you can just read this. I just want to emphasize this: SBA, okay, SBA, especially SBA loans. Okay, if you need, or your parents' business, whatever. Okay, if you need help to have this small business loan, okay, just let me know. Okay, I will find a better person, okay, and who can help you. All right. Entrepreneur leadership is a little bit different from the big corporation leadership. Right. So entrepreneur leadership is needed courage, belief in one's convictions, energetic, okay, and vision, dedication, and drive and commitment to excellence. Okay. So you read it. Entrepreneur leadership is made. Okay? It's made, in my perspective. It's not just, it's made. It's made. When you do have the entrepreneurial, business, then probably you will be a very typical entrepreneur, business owner. Okay? I see a lot of cases, something like that. All right, entrepreneur strategy. So entry strategy and generic strategies, we already talked about that. So I'm not going to talk about this a lot, but let's talk about entry strategy. So pioneering new entry, imitative new entry, adaptive new entry. Okay, so pioneering is creating new ways. Okay? So pioneering, you can create new ways to solve all the problems. So develop a new product or develop a way to reduce cost, then you have competitive advantage, get into the market. Okay, this is pioneering new entry. Imitative new entry, capitalizing on proven market success. Okay, introducing the same basic product or service in another segment of the market. Okay, all right, imitative. Okay. So your product or your business model is very similar with the existing ones, but you have a little change, then you can create competitive advantage. Adaptive new entry, capitalize on current market trends, offers a product or service that is somewhat new and sufficiently different. Okay, so usually adaptive new entry is a lot. All right, pioneering new entry is very risky. Okay, but it expects higher returns. Okay? All right, generic strategy. I'm not going to replicate this. Okay, we talked about a lot. Pursuing combination, we talked about a lot. Okay. Then competitive dynamics. Competitive dynamics. Okay. All right, new entry threatens existing competitors. Competitive dynamics explain why competitive strategy evolve and how to respond. Simply speaking, competitive dynamics is dynamics of competitions. Okay? So your competition, think about that. Your competition is changing because your market is changing. Your competitors are changing. They are interacting. Okay? So the interactions between market and competitors are changing. So you are changing too. All right? You are changing too. So in the market, all the components, all the elements are changing. Okay? So how to respond to this changing? How to respond to this dynamics in the market? So this is the central idea of competitive dynamics. So competitive dynamics, okay, is focused on any dynamics, changes in the market. So new entries, how to respond to this, okay, something like this. So it is monitor what changes are created, how to respond to this, analyze it. This is the competitive dynamics. Okay, so need to identify new competitive action, engage in threat analysis, have the motivation and capability to respond, understand the types of competitive action, evaluate the likelihood of competitive reaction. So simply speaking, monitor the market change, competitive change, and respond it. How to respond it? Analyze it. Okay. Analyze it, then understand the types of competitive action, and evaluate the likelihood of competitive reaction. This is competitive dynamics. Okay, this is competitive dynamics theory. Okay, all right. This second. So new competitive action, threat analysis, motivation, capability to respond, and something like this. Okay? In this diagram, there's only one way here, okay? But it can be go, back and forth, okay? It can be go, backward too, okay? But sometimes it can go jump some steps. All right, this is competitive dynamics. Okay, you can just read competitive dynamics, then you can understand that. All right, so that's it. All right, so competitive dynamics is very simple theory. If you understand the basics of competitive dynamics, okay, then you don't have any problem to read the textbook and understand it. Okay? So we talked about, in this chapter, we talked about the entrepreneurship. Okay, so we try to understand why we need entrepreneurship, because big corporations, they don't need any change in the market. Okay, all right. So we need entrepreneurship because they pursue innovation. Okay, this is the first one, first idea. Second, we talked about entry strategy: pioneering, imitative, and adaptive. Okay, so we talked about that. This is entry strategies. But we didn't talk about the generic strategies. Okay? Generic strategies are almost the same. Okay? Reduce cost, increase product differentiation. In the entrepreneur perspective, reduce cost and the increase product differentiations. You can create simultaneously. Okay? But entrepreneur companies usually do not have enough resources. Usually they do not have their existing market. They focus on focus strategy, and also they focus on product differentiation strategy, right? But they have a specific way to reduce cost. They can focus on cost leadership strategy too. Okay. Then we talk about competitive dynamics. Competitive dynamics. The basic idea is monitoring, all right? Monitoring any change in competition. And if you recognize any change, you can analyze it, okay, find a appropriate the way to respond. Okay, this is the competitive dynamics theory. All right, and competitive dynamics. Okay, I didn't talk about the details, but you can just read the textbook. You can understand easily. Okay. All right, this is pretty much about entrepreneur strategy. Okay, so we talked about that. How was it? Any question, comments? All right. So in the next time, if you don't have, please. Don't worry. Next time, we are talking about innovation, managing innovations. Okay. This topic is involved with the technology too, all right? So managing innovation and fostering corporate entrepreneurship. We are going to talk about chapter 12 on Monday, right? On Monday. So our next meeting is Monday. Okay. All right. So any question, comments? We just finished a little bit early. Okay. So it's a Friday. So that's why I just try to finish up a little bit early. Okay. Any question, comment? Please make sure if you don't have any question, comment, please say no. Okay, great. So if you don't have any other question, comment, we want to see you. We want to see each other on Monday. Then we want to talk about chapter 12, managing innovations. Okay. All right, great job. All right, I'll see you on Monday, guys.